I always believe that we have certain desires or visions for a reason. If it wasn't meant for us, it wouldn't show up. It wouldn't be our vision. And sometimes we might think, yeah, but doesn't everyone want that? No, that's not true. It's very unique to you. Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Beyonder the podcast. I'm your host, V. And in Beyonder the podcast, we go beyond borders, not just country borders, but also your inner limitations. And we talk about going on inner and outer journeys. And in today's episode, I want to talk to you about my reflections after a business event I went to last week here in Sydney. And first of all, let me give you some context about why I want to share it with you, because I think it will be very relevant for you as well. If you are someone who has big dreams, who sometimes perhaps feels like, oh, maybe I'm not realistic enough. I don't know if this is possible. Maybe you feel like you don't have the support around you, or maybe you just don't see someone else doing something similar like what you want to do. And that's why you start doubting yourself if it's even possible. So let me back up a little bit. So how did I even end up at this business event? So when I moved to Sydney 8 months ago, one of my intentions was to build a new community here. I already had some friends here from the previous time that I lived here a couple of years ago, but I also felt like I wanted to meet new people because the last time when I lived in Sydney, I was still working in corporate. And now I'm here with my own business as a life coach. So I didn't really have many friends that are also entrepreneurs. So one of my intentions was to meet other like-minded female entrepreneurs, ambitious women who also dream big. And I was just one day randomly scrolling on Instagram on my phone, like we all do sometimes, right? And then I came across this life coach that also lives in Sydney and does something similar that I do as well, to help people with their big visions and really make them practical and turn them into steps so that you can actually achieve them. And I was like, oh, she's cool. Let me follow her and connect. So we started talking. And then she was like, well, actually, I'm hosting an event in Sydney in a couple of days. You should come. And it was very spontaneous and last minute. And I was like, why not? This sounds like the perfect opportunity to meet like-minded people. What one of my intentions was to meet other women who are also ambitious. And I didn't know anyone. I actually didn't even know the host, right? We just connected for a little bit. But something in me felt like, okay, let's just give it a try. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I don't like the event or I don't connect with the people who are there. Well, if that's the worst, I could always leave, or if I have to sit it out for a few hours, that's also fine. So there was not really a big risk involved. So I went there and it was actually really great, beyond my expectations. I met so many other women who also inspire me to dream bigger. So that's why I wanted to share the 3 lessons that I came up with after this event. And the first one is actually this: to surround yourself with like-minded people, because your environment really impacts how your sense of what's possible for you evolves. Because if you surround yourself with people who maybe do things that you don't really want to do in life, let's say you want to start your business and everyone around you is working in a 9 to 5, it's very hard to relate to or to get motivation from what you see around you, because they are all doing something that you don't want to do. And this was actually me a couple of years ago. I didn't know anyone who was a coach, who started a business. So I really started from scratch without any support around me. And then gradually I started to meet people. Or for example, let's say you want to move countries or you want to travel somewhere new, but everyone around you has never done that before. So they might not understand this dream that you have, or they won't be able to give you any advice. Perhaps they are actually doing the opposite. When you share your dreams with them, they share their doubts or fears or why you shouldn't do it. And that's not really helpful, because what happens when you surround yourself with people who are actually not supportive or don't understand your dreams is that you start doubting yourself, and maybe you feel like, oh, maybe I'm delusional, maybe this is not realistic. But for example, what happened to me during this business event was that I saw these other women who were much more successful than me. They were a few steps ahead already. They were already having like 7-figure businesses. And I was like, wow, I'm not at that level yet, but it's definitely where I want to go. And it was very inspiring for me to see, okay, this is actually possible. And maybe I'm not so far behind. I just have to surround myself with people who have taken those steps already, because they inspire me to see that it's not delusional, it's actually possible. For example, one woman there told me that her next goal was to start earning 60K per month in AUD, because that would allow her to have her dream home close to the beach. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. But she shared it in a way that she believed in it so much that I started to believe in it too. She was like so confident, like, yeah, I just have to find a way to make it happen. But there was no doubt at all that it wouldn't be possible. And that started me thinking as well, like, yeah, why wouldn't it be possible, right? But if you never heard someone share that before, you might think, oh, that could be what I earn in maybe 6 months or a year, or right? Like you limit yourself in what's possible. And then when you hear like stories that are more expensive, you also start expanding your mind. So it's really about developing this growth mindset for yourself. So that was my first lesson, to really step into the rooms that help you grow. And whether that means, for example, for me, going to this business event, whether that means for you to work with a coach, for example, or a therapist or a mentor or a guide, or to just think about your current friendships right now. Are they actually supporting you and helping you to dream big? Are your friends also chasing their dreams? Or are they actually limiting you at the moment, and you feel like, I don't really feel comfortable to share my big dreams with them, or to take these steps to step into the spotlight, because I feel like I have to keep myself small. So it's nice to do this life audit, I would almost call it, for yourself, and see where you maybe want to make some adjustments, or where you perhaps want to get more support to really take that next step and take things to the next level. And that also leads me to the second lesson that I learned there. And I'm sure you can resonate with this as well, because it's really related to this first lesson, actually. And it's to understand where you are holding yourself back. Because what happens, especially when we're big dreamers, and I know when you listen to this podcast, you are someone who dreams big as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't resonate with what I'm sharing with you. And also, with the guests that I invite to my podcast, they're all dreaming big in their own way. Whether it meant, some people that I interviewed who are traveling the world, or starting businesses, or changing their careers, or whatever it is, right? If you have been listening to a few episodes, you see that. And it's, of course, also the theme of this podcast, right? Going beyond borders and beyond your own limitations, to really expand and to think, okay, how can I live my life on my own terms? And how can I really go beyond what I thought was possible? So it's very interesting, this second lesson that I learned, and that keeps on repeating. So I think it's something that is not like a destination we reach, but definitely a journey we keep on working on, is to really understand, okay, where am I still holding myself back? Because there is a part of you and a part of me, and I think that's really our soul level, that really believes and trusts what is possible, that really feels like this big dream that you have. Yes, it is possible. You can really feel it in your core. And I always believe that we have certain desires or visions for a reason. If it wasn't meant for us, it wouldn't show up. It wouldn't be our vision. And sometimes we might think, yeah, but doesn't everyone want that? You have a certain vision and you're like, oh, yeah, but that's what everyone wants. No, that's not true. It's very unique to you. And that was also a reminder for me, actually, during this event. We also worked on our own visions. And then afterwards, we shared it with each other. And yeah, of course, some things were like overlap, but still, everyone who shared their vision, it was very unique. Some people were dreaming of, for example, a house close to the beach. Other people dreamt of having a beautiful family. Other ones just wanted to travel the world and have no home base. Like there were so many different visions. So never think that your vision is just what everyone wants. It's really unique to you and you have it for a reason. So what I said, that part, I feel like that's really our soul level. And that's where we get to when we listen to our intuition. But then there are other parts of us that are holding ourselves back to really make that vision happen. Sometimes it's your mind that starts overthinking or procrastinating. Sometimes it's our ego that holds ourselves back and wants to keep us small. It might be fears or doubts that show up and that really think, oh, maybe this is not possible for me. Maybe I cannot do this. There might be so many different reasons. For example, perhaps your nervous system just doesn't feel safe to expand, to really have the capacity to hold that big vision. So it's not a one size fits all or one problem, let's say, that we all have. And if you work on that obstacle, then everything is going to happen. We all have our own journey with this, and different things will show up with every step we take. So I feel like every time when we get to a next level, something else will show up that we need to work through. And those are the lessons that our soul is here to learn as well. But if we can find a way to really tune into, okay, what is holding me back right now at this level that I'm playing at right now? And how can I find ways to actually work through them so that I can take the steps that I want? And another interesting question to ask yourself is, have I actually been listening to my intuition? Or what can I do to follow my intuition more? And how can that help me to actually take the steps that I want to take? So those are beautiful questions you can journal on as well. Perhaps you want to meditate with them, or perhaps just reflect on them when you go on a walk or have a conversation with a friend about this, and just really see what shows up for you. And related to this is my third lesson that I wanted to share with you, which is all about self-trust. And self-trust often shows up when we take action, not before. Often what happens, and I've been in this situation myself many times, is that we wait for confidence or trust to appear and then we take action. But it's always the opposite way. Actually, we first need to take action to create momentum, and then our self trust or our confidence will grow along the way. For example, with this podcast, I had this idea of starting a podcast for many years already, but somehow I didn't take the steps. I was focusing on other projects, or in my mind, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Until this year, I was like, you know what? It's not going to magically happen unless I take the steps. And then the doubts that I will have, they will disappear along the way when I take action. And I know this is, I think, almost my 30th episode by now. I know that I will grow so much more. When I reach my 100th episode, it will be much better than it is now. But I will not get to that level if I don't take the steps and if I don't record today's episode. So, with everything we do, we have to start somewhere and then build the skills, build the trust to get to the next level, to get where we want to go. So it really starts with having this beginner mindset with whatever we do and to really embrace that and to feel like, you know what, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm building my skills, and there's no failure in this, there's only growth. And that really helps to take some of the pressure off as well and to really feel like, you know what, I can do this and I can take steps towards my dreams. And again, to loop it back to the first lesson as well, to surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing or who are maybe one step further than where you are at right now. It shows you what's possible and it can inspire you to take steps, not to copy someone else, but to see what's possible and to then do it in your own unique way. So to wrap this up, if I would combine those three lessons that I've learned, is to first of all see what's possible. See what's possible for you. Be inspired by your surroundings. Then the second one is to understand what is holding you back. Why are you not reaching your vision or your goals yet? And what are the steps you can take to get there? And then the third one is to act before you feel completely ready, because your self-trust and confidence or whatever is holding you back and whatever you feel that you still want to grow in will actually develop once you take action. So I'm very curious to hear how this resonated with you, which lesson you feel like perhaps you are currently working on as well, or if you feel like you are surrounded by people who are supporting you, or actually if this inspired you to think, okay, where can I actually trust my intuition more? How can I maybe find more support to reach those goals that maybe feel delusional at the moment, but I know with the right support, I can make them happen. I do have 2 coaching spots available at the moment while I'm recording this. And if you listen to this later on, feel free to reach out as well and we can see what's possible. But if you're interested to really take your goals to the next level, send me a DM and we can schedule a discovery call to see how I can help you to take those dreams or that vision that still feels delusional right now and break it down into practical steps and really also get the support and accountability for you to see what's possible, to understand what's holding you back, and to actually start taking action towards that. So thank you so much again for listening. And don't forget to follow and subscribe so that you stay up to date on future episodes. And I will see you in the next one.